Hello, ho, ho, ho. Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. I hate to say I told you so. No, we're not there yet, but it's getting there. Please subscribe to my channel and tap the notification bell. I would appreciate it, majorly. Okay, so, I saw this last night. I did. I was just too damn tired to talk about it. And it came out last night around 11 o'clock. The text messages, some of the committee members. It's not all. I don't think Elijah Cummings is on this committee, but he might be. There's the three different congressmen that signed it and released the text messages between Volker, some dude named Taylor, I believe. Is it Taylor? Taylor, and Sondland. Is that Sondland? So you got Taylor is basically serving as the ambassador, to the Ukraine, because the previous ambassador, who is a female, I forget her name, was relieved of her duties, even though her stint in that role was going to come to an end at some point pretty soon anyways. Trump even cut it short. And, I guess those within the State Department were really they were upset with that she could have just, it's not important, whatever. So this guy's sitting in her place. I mean, he literally was just assumed office in June 18th, 2019. These text messages, this is about the text messages, that's, some say reveal that Trump, the Trump administration, Trump was basically putting pressure on Ukraine, just to kind of further evidence or further indicators to get the Ukrainian president to investigate Biden, and Burisma. In addition to the other thing, the two investigations, Burisma, which is Biden and Biden's son, and the 2016 elections, and how there's some conspiracy. I have different thoughts on that, man, but I don't have time to go into that right now. I mean, basically, in my last video on my theory that Trump and Hillary fixed the 2016 election, that she lost on purpose for whatever reason, I was saying that Manafort was basically set up to be the fall guy from the very beginning, it seemed to me. And that started in Ukraine. Before, according to John Solomon, the reporter from the Hill, who's left the Hill, that started before Manafort was even named and to join the Trump campaign. He joined the Trump campaign in January, February, March, and supposedly, according to John Solomon, these things started began in motion in like January of 2016. It's not important, dude. There's another chick, Shalupta, who I think worked at the U.S. Embassy, who's American, and in the Ukraine, who's on the DNC side, who basically, there's a story out there that supposedly Shalupta kind of always knew, even before Manafort, joined the Trump campaign, that he was going to join the Trump campaign. And so the very same day that he joined the Trump campaign, she made a call to the DNC, and they had this conference call about it. And even though, if you follow my channel, you know some of the stuff I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about the text. I'm just saying Ukraine. I'm familiar with Ukraine. So, So back to the people involved. So, and then you got Gordon Sondland. He is the United States the ambassador to the European Union. He's he's American. And he supposedly owns. He has a company, Providence Hotels, owns and manages hotels throughout the United States, including Hotel Max, mostly in the Pacific Northwest, I think. But actually, there's Nashville, Tennessee, Portland, Oregon, whatever. Seems like sort of maybe a potential competitor to the Trump organization. I think Trump Trump has this thing about, hiring people into the administrations that are basically competitors out in the business world, and to take them out of circulation, take them out, sort of weaken them as a competitor. I mean, I think that's what Rex Tillerson was about. It's the whole Godfather thing. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Whatever. So, but yeah, listen, dude, these things are not good. I mean, basically, the long and short of it was this is mostly those three people. Giuliani's in here too. I don't know if this is a group text. There's a number of different texts, so probably one or two of them are group texts that Giuliani's included in, where he just has very brief statements. He understands. He knows, that these things are in writing. And some of these other guys don't seem to be too clear on that, except when it starts to get to, a critical mass point. And this is, let's, call me. So, I mean, it's just back and forth. That's part of the reason I just couldn't put it together last night. I was just too tired. And because there's a lot of text here. The long and short of it is that, they were kind of dangling a meeting with the president of the United States, with the president of the Ukraine, but it was contingent. It seemed like it was contingent on, first getting some firm commitment that the president of Ukraine was going to do what the president of the United States wanted, sort of, look into the 2016 election and the collusion between, the Hillary campaign, the DNC, and whomever, and in the Ukraine and the investigation into Burisma, which is Biden. But and then like it seems like they're close and they're about to get a commitment. They want an actual statement. They kind of want the president to go out there in public and either or release a written statement or put out to the press, or I think more what they ideally wanted was him to go out there and make a public statement in front of the cameras, and so he's just committed to it, dude. I mean, that Trump does like that. Trump wants people on camera, and that's why he insists on people like early on in his administration going out to the cameras and praising him publicly for the record. And then it's just so hard to retreat from that because now you're on the radio. You look like a complete jackass, when the time comes, which it's here. It's here. And I saw, I'll read through a few of these texts. Well, I'll start now. So, connecting Rudy Giuliani with Ukraine President Zelensky advisor. Sondland briefs Zelensky ahead of call with President Trump. On the call is Volker, Sondland, and Taylor. Had the following exchanges about the specific goal for the upcoming telephone call between Trump and Ukraine President. Concerns about Ukraine becoming an instrument in U.S. politics. This is Taylor. So Taylor says, Gordon is Sondland. One thing Kurt and I talked about yesterday, Kurt is Kurt Volker, was Sasha Daniliuk, who I don't know is Daniliuk's point that President Zelensky is sensitive about Ukraine being taken seriously and not merely an instrument in Washington domestic re-election politics. Sondland, absolutely, we need to get the conversation started. But we need to get the conversation started and the relationship built, irrespective of the pretext. Giuliani advocates for Trump's Zelensky call. This is July 22nd. This is July 21st, the 19th. Let me just keep going. Volker. But Giuliani's not in that conversation. He's only in here like a couple times, once or twice. Volker advises Yermak ahead of Trump Zelensky call. Yermak is an advisor to President Zelensky in some fashion. I'm not sure what his official position is at the Ukraine. This is Volker. Good lunch. So Volker advises Yermak ahead of Trump Zelensky call on the morning of 25th. Wow, this is the 25th. Yeah, it is. So this is before the call. Kurt Volker. Good lunch. Thanks. Heard from White House. Assuming President Z convinces Trump he will investigate, get to the bottom of what happened in 2016, we will nail down date for visit to Washington. Good luck. See you tomorrow. So right there, Burisma is not necessarily brought up. You know, it is later though. It is in these following President Trump's 25th call. Ambassador Volker received the following readout from. Wait. So Yermak's informal readout of the Trump-Zelensky call. It's hard to follow. You're just going to have to bear with me. State Department officials discuss a White House visit and Ukraine statement. I think this is the key, man. I mean, that is. And I think what I think is, and Trump, you've already heard Trump say this, that Zelensky brought up Burisma, brought up Biden. I think he's sort of tentatively, floating that trial balloon that maybe that's going to be the explanation, that it was Zelensky that brought that up and that they were looking more into the 2016 collusion thing, We'll see. I mean, it doesn't make any difference to me, okay? I'm just telling you, you know how I feel about Trump, that I think it's just hopeless, dude. And the guy's just not a good guy, And that he has screwed over so many people. He has basically made people, grown men and women, to just bow down, kneel before Zod in front of everybody, and they've done it, but that's not a good thing, irregardless of all that. I mean, he's just bad, dude. And why? The thing that bothered me is so many people were just petrified to speak up. But what happens is eventually you reach a point where people do start to see that, the momentum is shifting. And then all these people that just have it out for you, they either just pleasantly watch it happen or they actually participate in it. And they just stick in the daggers, dude. And it just happens. And it's done. And it's happening. So I don't think he's going to be impeached, but I think he's going to lose in 2020. One of the big reasons is because he's not going to have an opponent that's going to lose on purpose, okay? And there's plenty out there. Believe me, I still believe that, CrowdStrike and the other things, CrowdStrike, that never, the DNC refused to hand over their servers to the Department of Homeland Security or the FBI, to the government. I think it was the Department of Homeland Security, They refused to hand it over. I mean, that's and part of why, and they're doing this on talk radio, the president is mentioning CrowdStrike all over, over and over again. He's basically messaging to Hillary that you better do your part to help, or we'll all go down together. I mean, I hear it on talk radio, they're doing the same thing. I hear him bringing up like Deborah Katz and the whole Brett Kavanaugh thing, which has definitely ties to Clinton. I've already explained how that and the situation in Virginia was another tip-off to me that these two families, the Clintons and the Trumps, Clinton and Trump, in my opinion, conspired, and that she lost on purpose. Whatever. So like I said, State Department officials discuss a White House visit and Ukraine statement. On August 9th, Ambassador Volker had the following exchange with Ambassador Sondland about arranging a White House meeting after the Ukrainian president makes a public statement. So they want the public statement. Morrison ready to get dates as soon as Yermak confirms. Excellent. This is Volker. That was Sondland. Volker. Excellent. How did we sway him? Sondland. Not sure I did. I think POTUS really wants the deliverable. Volker. But does he know that? Does Yermak, the advisor, I think he's an advisor to the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, does he know that? Sondland, yep, he does know that. Sondland, clearly lots of convos going on. Volker, okay, then that's good. It's coming from two separate sources. So both sides, I guess, are on the same page. Is that what he means? Sondland, to avoid misunderstandings, might be helpful to ask Andre for a draft statement, embargoed, so that we can see exactly what they propose to cover. Even though Z does a live presser, they can still summarize in a brief statement. Thoughts? Kurt Volker, agree. State Department officials seek Giuliani's guidance on Ukraine statements. This is where Giuliani's in here. And I think this is the only time he says anything. Yeah, where August 9th, 2019, the same day, Mr. Giuliani met with President Zelensky, President Zelensky's aide, Andrei Yermak. Okay, I got that right. And Ambassador Volker asked to speak with visit and about our expectations and our guarantees for future visit. Let's discuss it. Volker, okay, it's late for you. Why don't we talk in the morning? I agree with your approach. Let's iron out statement and use that to get date, and then President Z can go forward with it, and then President C, and that's a question. So it goes on, and at some point they cancel the visit. It doesn't happen, and then they say, maybe the vice president's going to come in his place. I don't want to just keep reading these things over and over and over, but it does. I mean, it gets to the point where all right, so let me back up real quick. I agree with your approach. Let's iron out statement. Yermak, okay. Volker, great. Gordon is available to join as well. Yermak, excellent. Yermak, once we have a date, we will call for a press briefing announcing upcoming visit, and outlining vision for the reboot of the U.S.-Ukraine relationship, including, among other things, Burisma and election meddling. Discussion of Ukrainian statement to include reference to 2016 election and Burisma. Volker, special attention should be paid to the problem of interference in political process of the United States, especially with the alleged involvement of some Ukraine politicians. I want to declare that this is unacceptable. We intend to initiate and complete a transparent and unbiased investigation of all available facts and episodes, including those involving Burisma and the 2016 election, which in turn will prevent the recurrence of this problem in the future. Sondland, perfect. Let's send to Andre after our call. So that's between Volker and Sondland. Confirming desire to reference 2016 and Burisma. It's over and over. I'm going to keep going just so I don't miss anything. Volker and Sondland had the following exchange in which they discussed their message to Ukraine. Do we still want Z to give us an unequivocal draft with 2016 in Burisma? That's Sondland. Volker, that's the clear message so far. Volker, I'm hoping we can put something out there that causes him to respond with that. Sondland, unless you think otherwise, I will return Andre's call tomorrow and suggest they send us a clean draft. A Ukrainian official shares press report and U.S. withholding military assistance. this is the whole thing, dude. I mean, this is not good for Trump. It's definitely, he's not in these conversations, but now all these people are going to be made to explain these comments. Volker's already testified. He did yesterday for 8 hours in closed door. And so August 28th, President Zelensky's aide, Andrei Yermak, texted Ambassador Volker a news story entitled "Trump holds up Ukraine military aid meant for to confront Russia. Yermak, need to talk to you. Yermak." This is Politico because and Yermak sends that story to him. Hi Andre, absolutely. When is good for you? President Trump cancels trip to meet President Zelensky on August 30th. Ambassador Taylor informed Ambassador Volker that President Trump had canceled his planned visit to Warsaw, Poland, where he was to meet with President Zelensky. Ambassador Volker and Sondland discussed an alternative plan for Vice President Pence to meet with President Zelensky on September 1st. Bill Taylor, that's the person who's sitting in, who's basically serving as the ambassador to the Ukraine. Trip canceled. Volker, hope V. POTUS will keeps the bilat. And tease up White House visit. Volker, hope Gordon and Perry still going. Perry's the Interior Secretary, the Governor Perry from Texas, I think. Sondland, I am going. Pompeo is speaking to POTUS today to see if he can go. On September 1st, Ambassador Taylor sought clarification of the requirements for White House visit. Taylor, are we now saying that security assistance in White House meeting are conditioned on investigations? Sondland, call me. Yeah, dude. This is, this is not good, dude. It's not good. That right there. Bill Taylor, this is the guy who's sitting in for the ambassador who was relieved of her duties just before her time was going to be up anyways. Bill Taylor, serving as ambassador, in place of the ambassador. Are we now saying that security assistance in White House meeting are conditioned on investigations? Sondland, the ambassador to the European Union, says, call me. Doesn't want to text about that. State Department officials on security assistance and Ukraine interview. On September 8th, Ambassador Taylor, Ambassador Sondland, Ambassador Volker had the following exchange. Sondland, guys, multiple combos with Z. POTUS. Taylor, now is fine with me. How far does this go down? All right, we're at the end. Now it's fine with me. Volker, try again. Could not hear. Bill Taylor, Gordon and I just spoke. I can brief you if you and Gordon don't connect. That's Taylor. Taylor, the nightmare is they give the interview and don't get the security assistance. The Russians love it, and I quit. That's Bill Taylor. They give the interview. I don't know what the interview is exactly. The interview is, the interview would be in place of the statement, or that is the statement. I'm not real sure. On September 9th, Ambassador Taylor and Ambassador Sondland had the following exchange regarding withholding of military assistance to Ukraine. Bill Taylor, the message to the Ukrainians and the Russians, we send with the decision on security assistance is key. With withholding military assistance, we have already shaken their faith in us. Thus, my nightmare scenario. Taylor, counting on you to be right about this interview, Gordon. Gordon Sondland. Bill, I never said I was right. I said we are where we are and believe we have identified the best pathway forward. Let's hope it works. Taylor, as I said on the phone, I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign. Again, that's Taylor. As I said on the phone, I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign. Gordon Sondland, Bill, I believe you are incorrect about President Trump's intentions. This is very lawyerly, definitely. Bill, this is Sondland speaking to Taylor. Bill, I believe you are incorrect about President Trump's intentions. The president has been crystal clear. No quid-pro-quos of any kind. The president is trying to evaluate whether Ukraine is truly going to adopt the transparency and reforms that President Zelensky promised during his campaign. I suggest we stop the back and forth by text. If you still have concerns, I recommend you give Lisa Kenna or S a call to discuss them directly. I don't know who S is. I don't know who Lisa Kenna is either. I looked her up last night, but I forget. Again, I don't know what the interview is, and I assume on September 8th, Ambassador Taylor, Ambassador Sondland, and Ambassador Volker had the following exchange. Guys, multiple convos with Z POTUS. Now is fine with me. Try again, could not hear. Gordon, I just spoke. I can brief you. I think they're saying they wanted the president of the Ukraine to give an interview in place of the statement. I don't know. That's the story there. I mean, this video goes on and on and on. I'm sorry. I don't even know if I'll upload it. I probably will because I just don't really care at this point. All right, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. See you in the next video. Later, man.